Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was jamming to that.
I need that for like my work playlist. That like some good lo-fi stuff right there.
I'm not mad at that new music at all. That's gonna get me in trouble.
No.
I can already see it. Because I'm telling you, it felt like some Phil Collins was. It felt like he just pulled up. He was like, "Do you mind if I play?"
That's
a little bit of
grocery store shopping,
right?
Music.
Like that's like that lo-fi girl playlist that you would find like on YouTube. I'm about to say like, all right, I'm in the mood. That's it.
Like, I'm not getting out of that cereal aisle if that's what's playing. I'm in that aisle like, damn, who is DJing today? Who is on the ones and twos?
Right.
All right, folks. Sorry about that, folks. No, there's some new music. I got some new stuff.
We love our music. Okay.
Yeah, it's just great. So, hey, look, you know what this is. This is our Geek Culture Upfronts episode, almost messed up already. And we're about it's going to be a type of show, folks. We've got a jam-packed episode, some really great things that are going to be coming up in the month of March. There's just so much. Jabba, are you ready?
Yeah.
That's the most enthusiastic I've ever heard from you in my life.
There's so much.
It scared me so much the way you like, because I've never heard you that like that's like your monotone to anybody else's like that was crazy. Robert, are you ready?
Yes, let's march into March.
Look
at that.
Somebody's gunning for lead chair. I like that. Okay.
My Wheaties today.
This is like a Klingon starship, man. Which is like a fucking promotion. I gotta kill somebody. That's it. Folks, let's go. Hey folks, what's up? This is TBA News presented by the Hungry Bleak Show, and this is our monthly Geek Culture Upfronts. Basically, what that is we tell you what we're excited to see that is going to be coming up in the next month. So we're doing ours for the month of March. There is a lot going on, and if you have anything to do on apparently March 20th, I suggest you cancel your plans, call out of work, and just chill at home because it is a jam-packed day. But first, we're going to start with the introductions. I am Antonio Pomares, aka the Hungry Bleak, and as always, I am just always honored to be joined by one of my favorite clan mates and Gunner.
Jabba Chin, what's up? Yeah. Is that better?
That's the energy I need. Yes. And one of my favorite writers and one of my favorite people as well, and one of my just a great co-host as well, this gentleman here.
Hey, it's Robert. Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Are y'all ready to kind of go through this incredible list that you have compiled here? Yeah. Y'all have scoured. Because y'all kept coming. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, bet. I was like, wait, hold on now. This is like
honestly, my first one, I literally forgot that it was happening. Like my first one, I forgot that it was happening.
Speaking of the first one, let's jump right on into it. What the hell? Let's go.
Okay, so the first one is Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's coming out March 20th. I literally forgot that this game was. I thought this game was already out. That's why that's why I thought it phased my mind, because like normally as an Assassin's Creed player, they usually come out almost like every year. It's almost like Call of Duty, so they almost come out almost like every year if you think about it.
Yeah.
And the only break that they had was I think between from Valhalla to Mirage, which I both got, and then they did a trailer for Shadows, but I thought Shadows came out last year. And then when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, coming out next month. Coming out the 20th. I can't play because I don't have a PS5, so I'm going to suffer.
So, folks, for just pennies a day,
right,
you can help Jabba to play In the Arms of I Can't Sing That Song. Does licensing rights
right
are not cheap? The thing about it is I didn't think the game had come out yet because you didn't mention it, because you're my Assassin's Creed like guru. So if you haven't mentioned it, it hasn't come out yet.
I didn't mention it because I can't get it. That's why.
You know what? I'm not.
I mean, I could probably get it on PC, but I'm like, I don't know the powers, especially like with PCs being funny, and you need to, like, have certain like graphics cards and stuff like that. I probably could run it, but like, I want everything to be like, flawless. I want to see the blades of grass. I want to see the blood from the enemies. I want to see my kunai sharpened. Okay.
Thought she was about to bust into the Conan lamentation of the women. It's like his enemies. I was like, what? Like, what is best? Like, what is best in life? I thought you were about to give me that Conan speech. Wow, that's.
But also, it's one of like my favorite. It's like one of like my favorite times, like during the Japanese era, because I'm like, and also it's a black samurai and it's also female, so it's like 2 for 2, and I'm like, I don't have a PS5, so I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. Again, folks, for nickels a day, I know the price went up. Don't worry about that. That's inflation. For nickels a day, Cougarams, pesos, doubloons.
I'll take Glimmer.
Glimmer. if you know, you know. Francs, Deutschmarks, yen.
I will say that the last that I'd heard about the game, unfortunately, was the quote unquote controversy, whatever people getting in their feelings about it. But the thing that I love about the series is it taps into like the different historical eras, right? And we've had different Assassin's Creeds where we've had a protagonist of color, and like two of my favorites, or one the big one is the I can never remember the name, but it's the one that takes place in New Orleans with and I think it's like the
that's black. That's a Black Flag, but that's the not, the DLC, right?
Yeah, not Black Flag. It's the
one with the slave.
Not the one. See, it's
we're all naming the ones that we like.
She's a Creole character. I can tell you because I think it's a spinoff of Assassin's Creed 3.
Because I know Black Flag has Assassin's Creed where it is based on the Caribbean.
Her name is Aveline de.
Liberation. That was on the PS.
Liberation. So that's a favorite of mine. So, and then I think it's Freedom Song. So like I said, unfortunately, like the last big news that I'd heard about this was like people, a certain demographic of people getting in their feelings about the representation in this, and so I've been hyped for it. So I'm glad, Jabba, that you brought it up. As one of the ones to highlight for the upfront. So
yeah, because I'm totally down, at least to view it to see how it is. I'm also for my personal giggles because it's Ubisoft. I'm just waiting for it to break. Because there's always some like random glitches in Assassin's Creed games like that always happen where like something breaks where you have like the ragdoll effect for the NPCs and you know what happens. Like I remember, like just a small backstory, when I was playing a Syndicate, it was like, based out like in London, and I was doing this carriage mission where I accidentally ran over a pedestrian just like shot through the air, and I'm like, oh, oops. My bad. Knowing good and well that's not how it's supposed to happen. So it's like I love Ubisoft for like those kinds of glitches because I know it's gonna happen. I always wait for them.
Wouldn't it be funny if the glitches were actually part of the animatrix and it was just something to like? I hope I know I totally butchered the name of it. And I'm okay because people who know the game know what I meant.
The Animus.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I added on letters because I'm extra sometimes. I'm extra, and I added on extra letters. This one's gonna be a fun one. I really want to get back into the Assassin's Creed games. The latest one I'm playing is Origin, which I got a ways ago, but between time and life and other gaming things and what have you, it kind of just wells away. But I've had such a fun time playing Origin. I played up to, I think, every game on my Xbox. Now, I still have an Xbox 360. Don't come for me. Don't judge.
That's classic.
Don't judge. You don't know my life. Yes, it's very classic because it doesn't work either. So, and this is my third one that they had to replace because, the overheating. Exactly.
Right.
So I played them all on that, I think. Yeah, I think I played all of them on the Xbox. Or maybe I played the first couple ones on PlayStation. I can't remember.
I remember I did give you the specials that were happening when I'm like, hey, they're having like a huge deal on like half of them.
Yeah, that
And
was
I'm
the
like,
one for Origins, and I bought it because it had
okay,
everything.
yeah. I'm like, you better like buy this now because like you're never gonna get this type like content.
And I think I literally bought it like on my phone at that moment. I literally bought it. I was like, because it was like $20 for all the DLC.
Yeah, all the DLCs,
like everything, literally,
and all
everything.
like the extra like skins and stuff that you could like that you have to purchase within games. I'm like, you better buy this.
Yeah, and it's been fun, but just having to. So I'm excited to see this one. I'll get a PS5 eventually. It's just not right now. It's just not in the cards right now. But this is going to be one to look out for. And if you're a fan of the Assassin's Creed games, you're a fan of ninjas and samurai, everything like that, you're going to get a very beautiful blend of all of them here.
Yeah,
Robert's got one for us. Robert's choices are always like fun.
Is that a polite way of saying
yes? Yes, it is because
they're always fun.
Robert picks like really cool horror and suspense stuff, which I enjoy because I need some more of that in my life, apparently. Because 2025 isn't horror and thrills filled enough, obviously. What have you got for us, Robert?
So for this, for March 28th, there's a movie coming out called The Woman in the Yard. And when I saw the trailer for this, and then also it's Blumhouse or Blumhouse, however you pronounce it, I was hyped. And also we have a Black family, so it's a Black family horror. It's Blumhouse, and it takes place in daytime. So that's another thing I'd wanted to point out. But the basic gist of it is there's a mysterious woman who keeps appearing, and she's like veiled, keeps appearing in the yard of a family somewhere out, like, and you'll see in the trailer, in the middle of like the country or whatever. And she just sits there, and people are, there's this idea that she might be like a harbinger of doom or just whatever. So it's like, things happen, she shows up, and it seems unsettling. So I definitely recommend going to check out the trailer, looking into it. One of the really cool things is Danielle Deadweiler is in this. The most recent thing I'd seen her in was it's the Western on Netflix. I'm having a brain freeze tonight.
The Harder They Fall.
The Harder They Fall. I remember her from that. She has an impressive like background of acting, and it's cool to see her as a lead in this. And also, it's a Black family at the center of everything. The other thing, like I said, I mentioned, is that daytime horror hits different. Like you have examples like Midsommar and Train to Busan. So those are like two horror movies on total opposite ends of the spectrum, which take place in daytime. And I know, because I haven't seen Midsommar, so I need to check that out. But Train to Busan is just a day on the train in South Korea, so it doesn't like go to nighttime. Yeah, it's I highly recommend both movies, but especially Train to Busan because that's one I've actually seen. But there's something about a horror movie that is set during daytime that is even more unsettling than one, the typical one, nighttime darkness and no creepy as heck. But just like I said, looking at this image of this woman sitting in the yard, and the reactions, and it looks like something definitely worth going to check out in March. And I love that we continue to get horror movies that are not set just in October. It's like these studios are realizing that spring is a good month, or even summer, but definitely like kind of that winter going into spring period of time is one to kind of drop these movies in. So I'm looking forward to The Woman in the Yard for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, I love a horror movie. Excuse me, especially ones like set in daytime, like you said, well, in general. But yeah, I have noticed that more of them are being set during the day or just all year round. We're not getting in October, which I think is very smart, especially Blumhouse. Blumhouse really does. Yeah. They're like that underlying, and we constantly talk about them in our chat group. Blumhouse has been there for so long.
Yeah.
And they're doing some like random stuff. Like they're like, what if an imaginary friend? Just just coming up with these ideas, and I love it.
Yeah.
The fact that a woman is just sitting in your yard every day is crazy.
Not even that, she's wearing all black. I'd be like, aren't you hot?
and the way the wind is kind of blowing it, and the veil, it's very unsettling. Then the hands coming out, it's crazy. As a man, if a woman is just sitting in your yard every day, that's very, very scary, especially if your wife sees her. But that's a whole other topic. I don't even want to get into that. What? I love this actress. Yes, The Harder They Fall. She was incredible in it. I believe she's also in a Western called Surrounded.
Yeah,
I want to say that, and there's another one too. I can't remember something about Pay the Devil. I can't remember the title of the other movie, but this looks incredible, especially again having like you're saying, black family in the center, and it not being centered around a villain or what have you. Like it's ours. It's ours.
You want to know who she also did in another movie? She played it as Emmett Till's mother in the movie Till. That's when I'm like she looked familiar. Yeah. She played as Emmett Till's mother. Yeah.
Yes. That
one was rough.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah. I just watching the trailer for that one. I was like, I can't. I'll watch Saw. I'll watch Eli Roth movies. Just put them in a bucket. I'll just watch. But Till, because it's so personal, and I believe we all feel that trauma, and that picture is in all of our memories. Like even when this is how traumatic Till is. Lovecraft Country.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say is Lovecraft Country. When you see that book, you go no, and we're all saying the same thing. Don't go. Please don't go. Don't go.
Yep.
Because we all knew.
That's
how it is.
There was a certain demographic of this country that when you heard that boy's name, we knew. Like we knew.
Like it was there. Like we knew. We knew. We didn't even need to hear it. When we saw the tie and the outfit and him smiling, it was just there, and it was just traumatic. So but I feel like this is going to be so much fun to watch, and I love the fact that Blumhouse does a great thing. They do a lot of PG-13 horror movies, which again I will say is brilliant. I think that's genius. I think it's so great because you're getting not just adults in there, but you can get younger teens, because teens love horror movies, and so you're getting that dynamic, and you can do so much more, and it's showing that it doesn't have to be blood and gore and everything. You can just have a really fun story that's a horror story and make it work and happen, and it be completely imaginative. So I love that. I just in the middle of a farm, just somebody sitting there. It's not like somebody sitting in your bushes like looking, like that's creepy, but if they're just sitting there like looking at you and you're like, why are you and if I'm on crutches and I gotta come out there, I'm not absolutely not. So yes, I am so into this one. Yes, please, yes, please, yes. Another one that I am into is Bitter Root.
Yes.
This one.
They back.
They're back with this one. This is excuse me. This is the why is this not popping up? See, this is what happens when you have too much going on. I need a whole studio, folks. God damn it, man.
Pushing buttons.
I mean, for real. So Bitter Root, this is Bitter Root, the next movement. This is out of Image. This is a continuation of the adventures of this Sangri family from the original Bitter Root series, which you can get in single issues might be hard to find. You can find them in trades and omnibus. I think there may be a hardcover. But I know there's an omnibus of it. I believe it's 3 trades as well. So we got writers are Chuck Brown, David F. Walker. We've got artists. We've got Sanford Green. And for this one, they've got 3 different covers. They've got cover A, which is from Sanford Green. Cover B is Trad Moore, and cover C is from Trad Moore. Trad Moore, the strange tale of Luther Strode, and he also did Ghost Rider when it was Robbie Reyes who was taking over the role of Ghost Rider. So this story is a bit of a time jump. It's in 1964, and it's the height of the civil rights movement. And this is going to be a 5-issue series. I'm hoping for more. I'm hoping this just means 5 issues for the first arc. Cross my fingers. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And it's the Sangre family, and they must. I'll actually just read it verbatim. It is 1964, the height of the civil rights movement. A group of activists have gone missing, and a new generation of the Sangre family must face I'm smiling as I'm reading this because I'm already ready to get into this. A family must face a menace far worse than anything their ancestors ever encountered. The monstrous Jinnu, creatures born out of hate and racism, we all know who they are, some of them even are elected president, have evolved into a threat that few people are willing to acknowledge, and even fewer know how to fight. A bold new chapter in the epic saga of the multiple Eisner-winning series begins with Bitterroot: The Next Movement. I'm so excited for this. There are 3 trades, and there's an omnibus of it all. I strongly recommend this. If you were a fan, I said that this was the perfect comic to read if you were a fan of Lovecraft Country. Because they were out around the same time and they paired up so wonderfully, because I would watch Lovecraft Country, and if I had a couple of issues to read of Bitterroot, I would read it as well because they just paired together so wonderfully. I love the Sangre family, and the first series, it actually is set in New York, in Harlem, and it's them fighting against the Jinwu, and you get to see different aspects, and they even talk about certain actual historical moments that happened during the Harlem Renaissance and in that time period. They even had a special one-shot issue which was called Red Summer. Not going to discuss it. If you don't know what it is, please look it up. But it's the creators of this series were able to just weave in our history, our folklore, put in the horror, and also set it against the turbulent times that we have to go through. Then again, all of our times are turbulent. We just happen to make it look good and sound good. This is exciting for me to see that I thought it was going to be coming out during the summer. I was ready. And then I saw March. I said, okay, never mind. Thank you. I will take that in heart. So this is going to be great. This is coming out March 26th. Like I said, it's going to be 5 issues I'm hoping, like I said, this arc. I'm hoping that it runs longer, maybe about as long as the original series did. I'm excited. I'm ready for it. Chuck Brown and David F. Walker are 2 of my favorite writers. Absolutely A-class, incredible. Sanford Green is just an incredible artist, and just the way they all work together, this synergy, and creating Bitterroot, which is just phenomenal, is incredible. Tradmore, absolutely love the art of Tradmore. Tradmore is one of the reasons why I read The Strange Tale of Luther Strode, because it's a fantastical story, and he's also part of the reason why I read the Ghost Rider series, where it was Robbie Reyes taking over the role. It wasn't just Robbie Reyes, which I was enamored with, but it was also the look of what Tradmore does with his art, the vibrancy of the colors, and just doing everything there. And Sanford Green's art just feels right for the time. It feels right for that era, making using the fantasy and the horror, and then mixing it with the aesthetic of Black culture and us. It's just beautiful. So I'm excited about this. I am ready for this. Let's go. Yes. But you know what else we need to go with? We need to go with, sometimes if you're not feeling well, you got to get blood work. But this anime makes you look at that in a whole other way, Jabba.
Yes, it does. We are looking at Cells at Work Code Black. So if you guys are familiar with the original one, which was just Cells at Work, this one is a switcher because the red blood cell is no longer female. It is now a male. And then the white blood cell is obviously no longer male. It's now a female. I wonder if they're going to give like that same like blank stare like in the original anime with the white blood cell, because like no type of emotion whatsoever.
I think I
So
actually watched the first episode today. I hadn't really watched it, and I was like, oh, you know, this got me interested in one. So I watched it, and I was like, oh, this is really kind of cool.
yeah, because like
So,
if you guys are like pretty much like if anybody's familiar with like Osmosis Jones on like the cell aspect of like making things like cartoons and talking about like certain like diseases and stuff like that, even if it's like the common cold, they throw that in there and just make it more chaotic than what really needs to be. Like if somebody were to like if your muscle were to get a cramp, it's like code red all of a sudden, like muscle spasm, like we're gonna lose our mind. It's like they will go to like that. It's like the world is about to end because like you're getting a cramp and they have to try and like figure it out. Or if you breathe in something and like it's like a random pathogen that comes in, it's like okay, we got like invader coming in. Like it's a good watch. If you guys haven't watched like the original Cells at Work, watch that and then get to enjoy this one because this is coming out on March 1st on Netflix. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this looks a lot of fun. I love the fact that when I was the first episode and the red blood and like the white blood cells all came out like a gang and they were just beating the hell out. I was like, whoa. I was like, I don't know who's worse at ganging up on people. The X-Men,
white blood cells.
like X-Men or Jujutsu Kaisen. Because they will gang up on people they'll gang up on a curse in a minute and not even care.
Oh.
So I don't know who's worse at ganging up on anybody. Like they're just ridiculous. But it was interesting to see and it was fun. And like and like you're saying, it is kind of like a twist on Osmosis Jones and that. But in a way, that is their world about to end. Like if you got a trolley horse, like that's everything for them. They're like, oh my god, were you just like damn, I need to eat a banana or something like that. They're like, oh my god, we got to figure what's going on out here. But obviously in anime way, then making everything kind of more like exaggerating everything, it works and it is actually kind of funny.
I love it.
But they've got 2 seasons of the original series up on Netflix, correct? Yes.
Yes.
So definitely a watch.
I'm pretty sure you can also find it on Crunchyroll as well. I'm pretty sure.
For some reason, I thought it was a Netflix original, but you're probably right.
No, I don't think it's a Netflix original, but I know you can probably find it on Crunchyroll since now like they've collected everything. Yeah,
that's true. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that because that type of thing running rampant in your body is kind of defiant. Speaking of defiant, Robert, I mean, we got the hits just keep on coming. I can't stop.
Segues.
I'm saying Star Trek Defiant number 25. If there's anybody I'm going to ask about Star Trek, it's Robert. Obviously,
it's going to be me.
Yes,
it was me. So Star Trek, over the past few years has undergone a renaissance. On Paramount Plus, they've had a bunch of TV shows, a movie, Section 31 recently, but IDW on the comic book front, they've also been killing it. I think I've spoken about there was a relaunch of the title series Star Trek where Captain Benjamin Sisko leads a new crew on the Defiant. Actually, no, not the Defiant. He has a new ship, and new cast, new crew. It actually works as a big kind of crossover opportunity for different characters to kind of meet up and introduce new characters. But one of the series that kind of grew out of this relaunch was Defiant. And Defiant is about a team of Starfleet officers. And I'm going to make sure I get this description right. It is the Dirty Dozen meets Star Trek. And the crew goes on missions and they are led by Worf. So that series has been just as much as Star Trek has been its kind of crossover opportunity for all these different characters to come together and go on different missions. Defiant has also been that, but it's kind of it has a little bit more of a more action espionage type of vibe to it. So if you think about different series to kind of align this with, Defiant is Mission Impossible. It meets Suicide Squad.
Oh, geez. Okay.
While Star Trek, the Star Trek series is more traditional Trek exploration, large missions, and so forth. So we're at the 25th issue here, and That comes out. It looks like the release date is March 26th, and now you have Miles O'Brien, B'Elanna Torres, Miles O'Brien from The Next Generation and DS9, B'Elanna Torres from Voyager, Ensign Ro from The Next Generation, and Picard. And so they've gotten like really kind of deeper into, because at this point, it's essentially like 5 story arcs worth of material, and also we're actually going into a crossover called the Lore Wars. So this will definitely be, and in this one they actually team up or combine forces with Section 31, which ties into the espionage vibe of it. So if you haven't been reading the series and you love Trek, and the same thing with the other series, just the Star Trek series, I highly recommend it. Because we're, like I said, 25 issues deep into it. But I think that I love the fact that we can have Trek exist across different types of genres and within sci-fi and space opera, and defined as like it's a very great, very good series, worth checking out. So I'm hoping that it continues past 25 and goes on and on and on. But yeah, this is I guess my pick, as far as what I talk about.
That's awesome. Now let me ask you a question, because I see it says Captain B'Elanna Torres, so I'm glad her promotion. Yeah. Is Rose still an ensign?
Well, okay, so as far as like in this
universe, I'm about to be mad. So
I don't think Ro is still an ensign. I know, like, especially because the comic books and the novels and even the online game, they're their own kind of continuity, but I know, like, in the TV movie universe, she was in Picard, she's a captain.
Thank God. Okay.
Yeah, I think if she's not a captain, she's a lieutenant or something. So
still.
Yeah. I mean, that's better than Harry Kim.
I was about to say, my man, I know my man mad.
Yeah, like they, I know that kind of got rectified on Lower Decks a little bit, but I need to play catch up. But yeah. But definitely a series worth checking out. And I love that Star Trek is existing in a variety of forms. If people love comic books and Star Trek, they can check this out. If they love TV and Star Trek, there's a lot of offerings there. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I love the fact that it like you're saying, it's in different genres.
Yeah.
Of it, because it's the type of thing where you can have it in different genres, because you can have the action, you can have the actual space opera exploration, you can have almost like a medical procedure show if you wanted, truthfully, because you could have something like that even in Star Trek. You can have so many different types, because sci-fi isn't all ray guns and spaceships or what have you. You can have actual depth of stories. Exactly. You can have depth of stories in so many different genres and play with that, especially in that world where you have so much history to play with and things you can make up, and so many different characters that we've fallen in love with, and new ones that we will fall in love with, and some that we don't care for at all. I'm not going to say their names.
Wow.
So I'm just saying. But what I am going to say the name of is Wolf King. I have been excited about this one. For some reason, as of late, I have really been wanting to delve into werewolf stuff. Like, I've always been a fan of vampires, werewolves, like mummies, like those, almost like the classic, like universal archetype monsters. But you have them in so many different genres, especially vampires, obviously. Vampire Hunter D will be having a theatrical release, re-release soon. I am stoked for that.
That's right.
Oh my God. Even if it's in Japanese, I will still sit there. I don't care. I will have trouble with the subtitles. I will just watch the movie and just gander at it. I don't care. But I love the fact of werewolves, especially as of late. And I've wanted to see more werewolf stories. Not like Wolfman. Not watching that in any theater. But I want to just see more. So we have this animated story, which I think I've spoken about before, which is, which is Wolf King. This is going to be an animated fare coming from Netflix, obviously, because Netflix just wants to do every damn thing, apparently, as far as animation. And this is the trailer for, I think we've actually talked about the trailer before here. But just the fact of down. I just love the look, and Netflix has been really hitting with different types of animation, especially if you have that's beautiful. If you look at something like Arcane, which is phenomenal. I mean, beautiful. But then you go to look at something like Zack Snyder's. Oh my God, why can't I remember?
Twilight of the Gods.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was phenomenally done. Beautiful. Absolutely loved that that series, and it's what, maybe about 8 issues or so. Is it 8? Excuse me. 8 episodes. So I love seeing the different types of animation, telling different types of stories. As much as I love anime and it's beautiful, I love seeing different manners of animation and different fare, whether it is folklore, whether it's action, whether it's comedy, whether it is an adaptation of a comic or a novel, seeing something like this. So seeing a story like this, and you have, royalty, and you have, wolf aspect, and all of that just kind of really hit me. And I trust Netflix. This is funny for me to say. I trust Netflix with animation, I think, more than I do with live action.
Yes. Yes.
Right? I mean, is it me? Yeah. Is it? Right.
I think it depends.
But I trust them more with animation, I think, now, because they're doing such a great job with it. I can think of some stories that I think would be phenomenal for Netflix, and I wish they would kind of go to the other side of geek culture, go to have representatives at a couple of cons. If you need someone, I am more than willing to be flown out to different ones and check it out, because there are some incredible companies I can tell you about that you can do animation stories, and they will be phenomenal, especially if you have different animation styles like this. Like, even look at that, remind me of Bloody Roar right there. That remind me, that's pure Bloody Roar right there. Yeah, this is what and this is March 20th. Like I said, March 20th is going to be a very busy day. If you have something to do, just say no.
Just don't do anything that day, honestly.
I mean, bet, except watch and read and play stuff, obviously. Yeah. Because there's a lot coming up but this just looks like really fun. Something that, a story in depth. That's what I trust Netflix with too, is stories. They tell nice in-depth stories with things that you think, well, I mean, you can look at something like Dragon Prince. You think it's just going to be something, and it ends up being this really in-depth story, this really inclusive, like you're looking at all these different people and you're like, wow, this is really good, this is really great. And you thought it was just going to be like maybe like an Avatar kind of knockoff or something like that, even though I believe it's some of the same people have worked on Avatar that worked on that, because you can kind of tell from the humor and the writing. But it has this great story, and you're like, oh, just like Avatar, you think Avatar would just be, it's just going to be martial arts and what have you, and there's this story that knocks you on your ass. Absolutely not, Jabba. Absolutely not.
I was just gonna say, it's been 20 years since,
and it still holds
up. Last Airbender. Yeah,
and it still holds up. You watch it now, and you go, "This just came out last year, right?"
Yep.
No, it came out 20 years ago. It was so ahead of its time. It was ahead of its time for Nickelodeon.
Yep.
It's the type of thing you would have expected to get on streaming service. So yes, I'm very excited about this one. This is going to be, like I said, March 20th on Netflix. But I mean, again, March 20th. Oh my God, Jabba, you have something too on March 20th? This is ridiculous. What?
March Madness, people. Yes, apparently it really is.
It is, yes.
So apparently, Xenoblade Chronicles is being remastered on the Switch. It's set to release on March 20th, which, if you guys remember, Xenoblade Chronicles was like on the Wii U.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
It was on the Wii U. So if you are a fan of the franchise and you like mechs and like open world, especially, this is the franchise for you to start playing. I mean, I started playing it. I didn't really get that far in the game, but like I still love the scenery, like, the battle tactics for it. So I'm excited. So is Nintendo going to get my money possibly on 20th? Maybe. I can use some more games anyway. Show my Switch some more love.
Yes.
Now, I haven't seen any type of like comparison video just yet, because even still, like on the Wii U, Xenoblade looked really good. Can't even lie. Like, it was really good for what they when they had it originally on the Wii U. So I don't know what they're gonna do as far as like a remastered version of it.
I love them remastering games so people can replay them and even maybe get the next generation, maybe their kids or stepkids or whoever, or maybe their partners even too, like into these things and having fun. I love seeing things like this. This doesn't offend me like movie and TV show reboots do. This I actually go because I go, oh, it's something to still interact with. And because the technology is so much better, we can update the graphics or update the gameplay. Or maybe they can correct something that always bothered gamers in that original game, what have you. So I'm all for this.
They're see, I've never played any of the Xenoblade games. Like, it's one of those series that I've heard about. And I'm assuming it's like obviously from the image, like kind of a mech action game. Okay, or is, I mean, if it's something else completely different, let me know.
No, it's more of like you do roam around like as your character, and then obviously you hop in the mech for like, faster travels and like, gain up in like higher places you can't get into. But like I said, I only still played the beginning of it because at the time, like I was sharing the Wii U with somebody else, so I didn't really own the game fully. But now that I have a Switch, game's all mine. I'm gonna get it. So I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play it, and I'll probably spend maybe like 100 some odd hours.
Nice.
It's probably grinding. Just saying.
Easy. That's easy. Yeah. I never played them, but I always saw them in my GameStop. And I always loved the cover and the art. Just always look cool. Like something about, I'm not a big mech person, even though I do watch Gundam series because I just like them in general. Yay Gundam Wing. When you tell a young girl the first time you see her that I'm like, damn, you just threatening her off the bat. Jeez, dude, thought you were the hero of this show. Damn. I love that. So even having it in game, stuff like that too. So I always would see this and I go, damn, this looks really cool, but never had a chance to play it because it was on Wii U. And I had a Wii U, but I wasn't a big Wii U person.
Right.
I'll be honest with you, I used it more for exercising. Like because that Wii Sports was it, like hitting it. Getting that racket. I've literally got virtual tennis elbow. That doesn't even make any sense, y'all, but I got that. My shoulder was worn out. And the boxing, everything. So I love seeing something like this come to Switch, updated platform, the next gen platform, updated graphic, update everything for it. I love it. And again, like I said, having these games and then having the previous generation play them and enjoy them, and then getting new players. And that's what it's all about, is about sharing that experience and having fun with it. Not just for yourself and enjoying it like, oh yeah, I remember playing this, but also, having other people play it and having that shared experience and expanding it. That's the beauty of having something remastered or coming out like that, or just sharing it, having fun. That's the beauty of it. I love that. I absolutely love that. It like the stakes for this are very high, but we're starting high, but we're gonna go a bit lower because we're gonna be talking about Star Trek Lower Decks. I know that was a horrible. I saw Robert like a disappointed father. He was like,
"Yeah, don't do it. Don't." Oh,
you want to get clown college?
As soon as you said higher, I was just like, okay, I know where we're going.
He looked like a disappointed father when I said I like to go to clown college. He was like,
so disappointed.
What? And we just because his face was like,
shake my head.
If your mother wasn't already gone, she'd from this news. Like it's that type of, it's like you like, damn, Dad, you have to
like, my bad, sorry.
That hurt for real, Holmes. Yes.
Once again, I appreciate the segues. Another Star Trek title dropping in March is Star Trek Lower Decks 5. We just last year, the Star Trek Lower Decks, the animated series, I guess it wrapped up, finished its run. I want to say it's like 4 or 5 seasons, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
But yeah. Nowadays when you hear a series getting like 5 seasons, you're like, oh God, who sold their soul? That type of thing, because it doesn't happen too much. Like we get these, even and also with animated series, like shortened seasons, and because if you don't hit your certain amount of viewership on the streamers, then they'll just snatch it off. But it was I need to play catch up to finish it up. But from what I've heard, they were able to kind of end things on their own terms. But one of the things that's awesome is that you can still follow the adventures or the exploits of the crew of the USS Cerritos through comic book form. And so, the series has only been out for, a few months. So probably started in, if we're looking at, maybe like December or November of last year. And we have the 5th issue where, and I'll just go ahead and read it from here. Suspicious after the Cerritos docks for its second Baron sweep in the same year. Mariner sneaks into the command meeting, their Department of Temporal Investigations. Oh, that's pretty cool. Tasks the crew with finding a time traveler who is rewriting Federation history at any alarming rate. Time travel in Star Trek, that's amazing. Mariner finds her friends and tells them what's really going on, only for the timeline to change around them. Obviously, something has gone wrong with Command's mission, and per usual, it's now up to Mariner, Tendi, Rutherford, and Boimer to save the day. This sounds amazing because I've seen the first couple of seasons of the show, and when Lower Decks was first announced, I was worried because I thought that it was just going to be kind of picking at Star Trek, and that it was going to be more reminiscent of something like Rick and Morty. I've seen a few episodes of Rick and Morty. I enjoy it for being kind of what it is, but I kind of had like little trepidations. But I went ahead and watched it. Started watching the first season. This show is so reverential or like reverent to the lore, the storytelling, just the vibe of Star Trek, and I think it does that sometimes better than any other Star Trek show. It is a comedy. It has a lot of adventure in it, but I really enjoy it, and the comedy is not done in such a way where it's just like vulgar or bad or whatever, and it's not so like in jokey where you don't get it. It's just a good time with this crew, and the concept of Lower Decks in Star Trek is focusing on the people who aren't the command. So these are, and we've had a few episodes on some of the series, namely The Next Generation, where you had an entire episode focused on the Lower Decks. So to have an entire TV series focused on the crew of the Lower Decks is pretty awesome. So I definitely recommend picking this up in March, on March 12th, especially if you're getting time travel mixed in with Star Trek, which is always fun. But yeah, I'm so happy that the show has another life on in comic books.
I think that's one of the beautiful things about comic books is that you can have series that may not have lasted as long as you wanted to. You can always have them expand, and you can do so much in a comic book form, and you can bring in again a whole other audience for that, and you can have the people who loved it. You can get them in there. You can get people who enjoy Star Trek who haven't checked it out. Yeah, they'll read it. They'll go back and watch the series. You can get people who just love comics and who want a good story and something that's fun, and they can read that. So that's a beautiful thing. And again, like you were saying, having the different genres in Star Trek and having this one be a part of it, and having it be that comedy, but still in the Star Trek universe and still adhering to Star Trek lore and its rules, to say, still having it not be like you were saying, like a Rick and Morty, where it's just blowing stuff up and whatever and anything like that. It still holds to Star Trek's lore and rules. Excuse me, folks. It has been a very long day, honestly. But then have that comedy aspect, I think, is really important. I'm so far behind in Star Trek. I'm not even going to say where I'm at in Star Trek, honestly. I'm still on because for the longest time my Paramount would not play.
Oh.
But it wouldn't play Discovery. It played anything else but Discovery. So I'm on the second season where we're learning about Spock.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it. I would say it's this and DS9 are like my two favorite series.
Oh, nice.
For real. I love this cast, and it's just so vibrant, beautiful. I love it. But yeah, I'm very far behind. I'm not even going to discuss it, honestly. So I want to get up to the point where I'm watching Lower Decks, because I remember that episode where they were playing poker, and it was such a subversive episode, because we were like, wait, are any of the other like the higher ranks that come in? And they don't. And you just sit there and it feels right that you're sitting there watching them playing them, and it becomes a very kind of comforting and warming episode because you're sitting there watching and you're having fun with it. And they're talking about other stuff. So this was Lower Decks before actual Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Which I love, but that's a Star Trek thing. Star Trek always pays homage to itself, but not in a like, oh, we're great way. It's like, oh, remember this is what this is. Now we're gonna take that idea and do it like this. So it always does an amazing job, which I love. So
well, there's, and one other thing I was going to say, it's not afraid to kind of poke fun lovingly at Star Trek. And the joke that I always love is that the shot of the Enterprise and all those larger movies where it's in slow motion from 5 different angles, and the orchestra music is playing. And as a Star Trek fan, I'm like, God, when will it end? And so they have that joke in Lower Decks where they're like flying around the ship from different angles and the music is playing. And so like that type of humor where they're like, okay, we get it. Sometimes we do the most, but you're going to have fun with us. So I love that.
All right. That's outstanding. It's just a group goal. So I'm excited to get up to that point where I'm watching it. And then I can jump to the comedy because the series looks so much fun. It looks like the cast is having fun doing it, which also helps you to feel and live into that moment. What's another word for live? It will be Residence, right? So the Residence is a series. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. That I hurt my back doing that segment. That was a lot of heavy lifting on that on that segue. Damn it! Don't come for me. So another one. I don't care. I don't care. This is just the most fun I have all day. I don't care. So the Residence is a new I believe it's going to be a series, like a miniseries kind of a thing that's going to be going on for Netflix.
Okay.
Basically, it's a murder mystery comedy, which I love. I love a good murder mystery. I actually want to start watching some of the older ones, like the Agatha Christie stuff, because I want to dive into that because it just wanted something. But I also love comedy aspect, similar to Clue. Clue is one of my favorite movies. I love that movie also because it's Tim Curry, obviously.
Yeah.
So, and the cast for this is just I'll put on the trailer. No sound. So the trailer. So for the cast, we have Uzo Aduba. She's gonna be playing the lead.
Oh, okay.
She's this detective consultant who's going to be helping. We also have Giancarlo Esposito, who you just saw. Giancarlo is a money win anytime. Should have been used better in Brave New World. Leave it at that. And so I'm just saying, Serpent Society should have been the big bad of the movie. Anyway, so we have this incredible cast, and basically the story is a murder at the White House, Oval Office. We have to lock everything down. You can see, and this is from Shonda Rhimes. So right then and there, it had me interested. So I was like, oh, I don't think I've seen something like this from the Shonda land. And I don't know if it's a part of that universe, but you can see from the faces in there that we have some like big comedy heavy hitters. I mean, you have people from all over. So I'm looking at the cast right now, and I'm just like, I can't even give them justice. I cannot give this cast justice. They are going to nail this. If you want to have a good time, laugh, have this kind of almost like a watching the trailer made me feel like almost like a Knives Out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
kind of feel, which is I love that fact, but give me this brilliant detective consultant black woman trying to solve a murder in the White House, in the Oval Office, and all these suspects, everything. It just, yes, give this to me. I absolutely want this. And if I get one shit out of my man, I will be happy. I will be happy. I will be happy with that. Reference it and then don't even like, pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? we're also, I mean, we've got like I said, we've got a heavy hitters from all across everything. You see in the picture, if you're a fan of SNL, like first cast, you have Jane Curtin is in this. Jane Curtin, who's one of my favorites. She's a classic. I've just always enjoyed her work. She was one of the people, like I've said, I watched SNL. Yes. So this is going to be a really fun series, I think. I'm excited. I can't remember if it's a series or a movie. I'm trying to think that it's a series, because I want to say it's going to be, because Netflix does well with, let's say, 6 episodes. They do a lot in 6 episodes.
Yeah.
But they do a lot with 6. They do a lot with 6. So if you get 8, that's almost like enough to, like, it's almost like the ice cream on top of the cake. It's like, oh, okay, great. Food analogy already. It's ridiculous. I'm surprised I waited this long, truthfully. I'm surprised. That's willpower. This looks like a lot of fun. Like I said, this is going to be coming out on Netflix. Guess what day, folks? You probably already can. Exactly, March 20th. Don't do anything on March 20th. Stay home. Get some pizza or some quinoa, whatever you're going to eat that's comfortable for you, and just sit. Some people like quinoa. I don't know. And just relax, because 20th is going to be a big day of a lot of stuff, honestly. I mean, I'm looking at this like there's no way.
It's Thursday.
Yeah, they started doing a lot of stuff on Thursdays.
Yeah.
There's a movie coming out tomorrow on Thursday on Netflix. I'm like, oh, Thursday and Tuesdays I found they're finding their own way. I like when streaming services go, I'm gonna do stuff on this day. This is my day now. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I really enjoy that. Or just throw it on whenever you want.
Yeah.
And it's no longer Fridays, which I truly enjoy as well. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to get off of March 20th.
Finally.
Who thought that there were other days in the month of March? Who knew?
I didn't.
You didn't, but that's because you're a good person. You're definitely not wicked. Which, Jabba, what have we got coming up here? That would hurt me. That would hurt my back. I'm not a lot, folks. Seriously.
Okay. So as you know, Wicked is now going to be hitting Peacock on March 21st. So yeah, we do get a couple hours after the 20th. So you're welcome. To buy on, I think it's on like Amazon Prime and like any other digital service. You can now finally watch it on Peacock on the 20th. I think you can actually buy it now on DVD as well, because it's been out for DVD and Blu-ray. So if you want to buy it, you could buy it, which I'm probably still am going to buy it. So, and before I forget, okay.
I was waiting for it.
I just had to do it.
I was like, if she's not going to do it, either myself or Robert is going to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say,
somebody's got to do it.
I'm about to say, I have to do it. If not, that would be sacrilegious. Okay. So I'm excited, because I know I'm going to be sitting there singing my little happy heart off with all the songs and stuff, because even though I've never seen the Broadway show, I do know the songs because I hear them throughout like a lot of like television that broadcast like, certain parts of Wicked. So I did see the movie in theaters. I enjoyed it. I sung in theater. Don't get me wrong, I was that person. But I had it was like 3 weeks after the movie was already out. So I had fair enough warning to sing it. So I can't wait. I've already had queued up on my Peacock thing. Nice. So once it's available, I'm like, all right, let's go.
We watched it a couple of weeks ago, rented it, and never seen a stage play. That it was like when I watched Hamilton, I was like, this is amazing. And I like the option of just being able to kind of watch Broadway, kind of at the house or whatever. But I knew nothing about it. I outside of the basic concept that it was focused on, the evil witch of the West or whatever. And from the opening, I was like, oh God, y'all got me. And that was before the music. I was like, did I just watch a homicide? And then we got this meandering shot. Like, yeah, that's by the end of the movie. And I know that's how the stage play, but I'm like, we literally started off with a homicide, and then you see in a quartet of people walking like, yeah, let's do it. And then they go to the lynch mob, and then there's a musical. And it was just like, no, it was crazy. But like, I love the fact that it was, I really like musicals. And for everything that I'd heard about the stage play and then also the movie, I'm just glad that it kind of lived up to it. So I'm glad that it's going to be on streaming, where you don't have to pay like you pay in your subscription, but it's just like it's a part of it. So that it's just going to, like, more people are going to watch it now, and I like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
I figured this was going to be on Peacock because I think they had a documentary about like behind the scenes of the movie.
They did, and also they were heavily advertising it on like Peacock's commercials, where like pink and green. So I'm like, all right, just give us the freaking data rate. Like, when can I watch it?
Yeah,
I haven't seen the movie. I didn't really. Whenever I would hear Idina Menzel do that note, I never knew what it was from. I knew that it was from Wicked, and I knew Wicked was a story about, a story that was from the Wizard of Oz movie. I knew that. I didn't know the details of it. Then when I learned it, I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. Then when I first heard the song, the first time I actually heard the song was from Cynthia.
Oh, okay.
I heard it on the radio and I stopped. I was at work, and I work in I have a physical job. Like, I'm lifting stuff, whatever. Like, I'm not, like, I have a physical job where like I sweat sometimes. And I heard it, and I'm usually by myself when I'm working, and I stopped and I was listening to it, and I was like, oh wow. And I started like, and I usually don't hear the radio at work because I don't care, because it's not music that I like.
Right.
I heard it, I was like, okay, and I was listening to it, and I was like, oh wow. And I got wound up. I was like, oh Jesus. And then when I heard the line, I was like, now it makes sense to me. Okay. So then I went on YouTube and I listened to Idina Menzel's version.
Right.
And I said, oh my God, because she's got pipes galore as well.
Oh, yeah.
So hearing the two different ones was amazing, because I know Idina from Rent. That's one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
So this will be a treat to see. And I love that line. And I love a prequel where the person you think is, oh, this villain, what have you. There's always a context to why this person decided to do those things. Always. And when you read it and when you get the story, you go, I completely understand. It makes sense.
I was about to say, since you haven't seen the movie yet, I'm not gonna say, but Robert knows when you watch that scene, if you don't choke up in that scene, oh, we have to have a talk.
It was,
you need to go there, because I'm like, because when I saw that one scene, and people who are watching this, if they already seen Wicked, they wouldn't know the scene I'm talking about. I'm like, oh my goddamn. I'm like, my chest. And mind you, this is a scene where nobody's not even singing.
Yeah.
Nobody's not even singing, and like it just touches you. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, I'm not crying, but I'm not crying. And
it has that look, and I love that.
And before we go on to your segue, sir, also March 2nd, which is another March Madness, is the Oscars. These two lovely ladies are being nominated. Cynthia Erivo is getting nominated for a leading actress, and if she wins, she's the youngest Black EGOT that we would have. Because she already has a Grammy, she has a Tony, and she has an Emmy. All she needs is the Oscar.
Oh wow, yeah.
So March, was it March 2nd? Yeah, I think it's March 2nd. That's the Oscars.
Yeah, because this will probably March 20th is probably is a Thursday, I think that we said, so 21st. Yeah. Well, no, if it's the 22nd, it's
no March 2nd.
So yeah,
March 2nd. Okay.
Yeah, for the Oscars.
Sunday. So and the Oscars are normally on the Sunday. So
yeah, they're both nominated.
So that's this weekend.
Yeah. Ariana Grande is nominated for supporting actress. Cynthia Erivo's nominated for lead actress. And if she wins, she will be the youngest Black actress to win full EGOT. And there's only 6 of them.
Yeah, there aren't very many. It's wow. It's funny to think of what's name being nominated for supporting actress when she was Kat on Kat and Sam, and yeah, like it's funny to see how someone can progress and evolve in their work. And my first time seeing Cynthia was in Bad Time at the El Royale. Is that the name of the movie?
I think so.
I think it's the name of the movie. Or One Night or El Royale, something like that. Like, that was my first time, and I didn't realize she was a singer until the end of the movie when she actually does sing. And I was like, oh wow, she does sing. I was like, damn, this is great. So it's again seeing someone elevate. I don't like some of the things she says.
Hmm.
I'm gonna walk past that.
I will. That's why I didn't bring it up.
Walk past that
Mhm.
because we haven't forgotten. But it's just incredible to see like how people can evolve from what you think, from what you when you see them at first, and they go to this level, and you're like, oh wow, this person is something iconic. It's always cool to see. So I'm excited to watch this movie, especially in my own home, with my own food, and not having to be in line or what have you, or
and unlimited bathroom breaks.
Exactly. So I'm excited to see that. Like you said, Wicked is going to be on March 21st on Peacock. Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. Yeah, I'm genuinely excited to see that because I want to hear that song be sung and to feel it like defying gravity. I think that's cool. So, yes. Something else that's cool. When we're talking about Wicked and we're talking about something as wicked are monsters, but sometimes we make our own monsters. And Robert has, I don't care. That segue was strenuous. Okay, I do this to myself so I can be better. I'd be better at this.
I see the lifting going on.
Okay. The shoulders are broad for a reason. Damn it, the shoulders are broad for a reason. And Robert, what have you got for us?
We got monsters we make. So I was scrolling on Instagram, and this is like a few months back, and there's an animation studio that I follow called The Line Animation, and they released a trailer for some client work that they did, and it was an animated trailer for a new comic book series or a new manga called Monsters We Make, and it's the brainchild of, let me see if I can get this brother's name right. It is Corey X Kenshin. Just to show how not cool I am, I didn't know who this guy was. And apparently he is a really huge YouTuber. Like, he's a huge YouTuber.
Oh, I've heard of him. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I've heard of him.
He streams horror video games, but he's done a bunch of stuff. So just to show how a different form of marketing could help people to want to go buy a comic book, take note, Marvel and DC. Advertise for the comics that you actually create. And somebody like myself might want to go buy them, because when I saw the trailer, I got excited. And the basic gist of the story is, and I'll just read it because I don't want to like mess this up. In the year 2114, the world hides its darkest secrets behind the glow of neon. Jabari Booker, a 17-year-old gifted musician, enters New Eden Academy expecting to find his talents. Instead, he's plunged into a waking nightmare. The Academy, a supposed sanctuary for students born during the eternal night, is training its students for a more sinister purpose, killing monsters. Citizens, including his classmates, are mutating into vicious creatures, twisted by the dark secrets of Sanda, a global tech giant pulling the strings. Jabari and his newfound allies are thrust into the ranks of expendable soldiers known as hounds. Together, they must endure a brutal monster onslaught, expose Sanda's hidden agenda, and confront the darkness within themselves. So, the trailer for this will get you hyped in enough to go and get this book. And I'm very excited to get a chance to check it out. It looks like if you purchase it now, you can get a digital version of the manga, and hopefully, I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's as good as the animation, but yeah, definitely worth seeing. And I was gonna say, if you, and I don't know if it's there, if you scroll to the top of the page, Antonio, and click on about. There you go.
Oh, this is the trailer?
That's the trailer.
Oh, I saw this like a month or so ago. I didn't realize this was
this looks familiar. Bet.
Yeah, this is money. This is money.
Yeah. So like I said, when I saw this, I I was like, what is this? And then the line had a link to the page to Corey X Kenshin's page, and then that routes you over to the Instagram page for the comic. And I was like, this is it. This is it. So it looks like it's getting kind of like reviews. People are getting a chance to check it out. Maybe like the digital copies. But I really hope that this gets big. I mean, hope the story is good. Hope the art works out. But I hope, like he wants, that this pops up on somebody's radar like Netflix. Because you got the concept right here. You got the proof of concept. Like you have an animated trailer, and you have the manga that the source material. So definitely hyped to check this out. And it's worth looking into. So like I said, I wasn't familiar with the brother's work as a YouTuber, but it looks like he's just added another notch on his like multimedia belt. In a big way. And shout out to the Line Animation. They do some awesome animation. Check them out on Instagram too.
The name was familiar to me, not from YouTube, but because I knew it from somewhere. But now that I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh yeah, I saw this on IG, and I was watching it, and I was like, yo, this is crazy work. This is.
When are we gonna get a show?
I mean,
when are we gonna get a show?
Right after I read the actual book.
Yeah, I can do both. I can get the book and watch the show. So when are we going to get a show?
Like I said, Chet, the full length trailer is really good. Definitely worth checking out.
This is, this is absolutely crazy. I might have to. Yeah, I love the fact that you get the digital right away, and that excuse me, the actual physical won't be till later. I might have to get this bundle. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because it looks crazy. And even like just seeing like the preview of it here. Wow. I love the black and white. I love the anime aspect. I love like anything that's like manga where they're like, going toe to toe, fisticuffs with monsters. I absolutely love that. So yeah, I'm on point. This is
You got you, huh?
This is money. Yeah, like I saw the trailer and I knew something wasn't coming out for a while, and I was like, okay, cool, but I'll wait because I know this looks ridiculous. Whatever it's gonna be, I'm on point for it. Because I saw, like I said,
the homepage. I thought you were playing a game because like the top part of the film, like, is he gonna show us a game? I'm like, I literally thought it was like a game. Like, look at it.
Yeah, it almost looks like cyberpunk. Like it almost looks like a cyberpunk feel to it. Yeah.
Like, I'm like, is this a game?
I'm so on board for this. Yeah, definitely. This looks, and the fact of like that animation and the manga, like I love Black creators doing manga, and putting us into it, and not having. And this is no front to anybody, but not having it be like, oh, just a Black Goku or a Black Vegeta or a Black Bulma. Yeah, they look cool, but give us something original. Give us something that's ours, something that's cool, that's us, that's vibing. Like, like you have this, you have
Saturday AM.
Yeah, Saturday. You have oh my god, Nicholas Draper Ivy was a part of a couple too, and his art is heavily influenced by that. And his you have Immortal Dark, which is like a tournament kind of a manga, which is awesome. So yeah, I absolutely love this. I might have to check my ducats and see if I can get this because I want to read this like this weekend.
See,
do we know if that physical copy is going to be technically like a soft cover?
From the pictures that I've seen online, it looks like it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say for the price, it probably will be a soft cover because I can't see a bundle of $14.99 being a hardcover. Truthfully. If it was, I'd be like, damn, that's a great deal. Thank you.
Like, their brother's doing great on YouTube.
But this looks awesome. I can't wait to see the actual physical copies of this in people's hands. That's the thing. Digital is great, but seeing when you get that physical copy of whatever you created in someone's hand, that's like in your hand alone, you're like, I can't believe this is real. Then being at a table and selling it, and like selling your wares at a table, that actual tangible thing, whether it's a book, and both of y'all know that, like, you know, firsthand, like, you know, you putting your stuff out there and being at the table, and that's awesome. So yeah, I definitely love seeing someone's creation come to life and it actually be in their hands and going, I made this. I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. So on that note, I am going to hit this button right here, and I'm going to hit this button right here so I can do a flip around because I like being a Daredevil. We're going to talk about Daredevil Born Again. That's the last segue. I don't care. I know that was bad. I don't care. The only other way was going to say I feel rejuvenated. I feel born again. That was the only other segue I had, and I didn't know how to work it in there because I'm not that good at it. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, okay, so we got Daredevil is going to be the first of let's say a resurgence of the Netflix shows on Disney Plus. In the same vein, but definitely different. We're going to be getting the same cast. Charlie Cox is going to be back as Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, which I am happy about. We are going to be getting Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin as well. I believe, I'm trying to remember their names. Karen and Foggy are going to be back in the series, I want to say, as well.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to see this and to see this new era because now Wilson Fisk Kingpin is mayor of New York. We saw that at the end of Echo. If you did not watch Echo, please go watch it. It was very enjoyable. I loved it, and I want to see more of the character and what's going on there. So we're going to be getting more of that series, and we're going to be getting more in this vein. We're going to be getting Punisher is going to be coming back. John Brown. I think John Barrow was actually going to be writing some of it as well. I think like he's going to be actually a part of the creative process, which I love. I think the actress who portrayed Elektra is going to be coming back, I want to say. We're actually going to be getting Bullseye in the Bullseye costume. We're going to be getting that, which nice. I think is great. This is going to be something different. I feel this could be a definite launching pad for a whole new era for the MCU with the street level characters. We've been asking for it for a long time because there are some great stories. You have the Shadowland. You have I mean, you could do so much with the Hand.
Yep.
With this, you can have so many things with not just the Defenders, which was what they had for Netflix, but you can do so much with this level and how they can even play in with the larger, bigger than life Avengers or what have you, but they needed those characters down here. And Daredevil was the one that really started the Renaissance. Because when it was on Netflix, everybody was like, wait, what? It blew everyone's mind. This is how good it was. When we had the Netflix Marvel shows, I would actually request those days off from work. And I'd watch all the episodes. And because you see how it was shot differently, how it was shot without a part where they could put a commercial. It was shot in a way where it was just so deep, and the hallway scene, obviously an homage to so many other hallway scenes that we've gotten, but it was just so in depth, and the acting was so real, and it was a character who was bleeding, who we were getting beaten up and bruised, and the realism of it, of him in the middle of a fight and everybody's out, he's going breathing hard, where we didn't get that with Thor or Iron Man or Cap. I could do this all day. Murdoch might be able to do it all day, but he's going to be tired as a hell at the end of this fight. So I'm very excited to see them and going back to this world that we've wanted for so long and not getting that Disney softening of it. Possibly could be even a bit darker.
Yeah, they said you better put your parental controls on this weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was wondering because, like I said, like you mentioned, with the Marvel shows on Netflix, they were a lot darker. Where I'm like, yeah, I ain't trying to put this on Disney. But I'm like, I feel like you would have snub some of the stuff out because it got brutal, especially for Daredevil. Like they were they were going in. So hopefully, I want them to keep it like as dark and like I said, not trying to quote unquote Disney-fy because I don't think they've gotten as dark like with their other Marvel shows. Like they've hit like troops and stuff, like for like real life type of things, but not like as far like the violence goes. I think closely we got to violence was like what Falcon and Winter Soldier, where the I forgot his name, the one associated like the new captain,
Walker.
Where he like just like shoves the shield like in like Homeboy's face. I'm like, all right, okay, it got dark, but then that was it. It really didn't get like any darker than that.
I think Echo probably was the one where where if you watch that, that's on par with the Netflix stuff with the violence.
Okay.
Yeah, Echo I think is the one, but like literally when Disney Plus decided to start adding like R-rated stuff or the Hulu subscription, they sent out an email to all the subscription holders and literally said, you put those parental controls on. We are advising you to do this. If you don't, because there's a definitely, like if you look at it without the parental controls, with the parental controls, all those shows aren't on there. Anything that's like MA, you won't see. So that's on somebody messing up, and that allows them a certain amount of freedom to do these types of shows, which I'm happy for, because they need a hit. I'm sorry, like Disney, like and this is I know that Cap is doing very well at the theater. I think Thunderbolts will do well, and Fantastic Four awesomely, hopefully. But this is the one that's going to hit. And I'm excited for it. So they can't cut back. So like I said, parents, if y'all mess up, that's on y'all. If you see a bone protruding from a face, that's on y'all.
And you will.
Yes.
Well, that was one of the first things I saw when I saw Daredevil. I actually went on Facebook and I was like, if you're going to watch Daredevil with your children, don't, because this show gets dark immediately. Do not. And the minute that I'm actually trying to rewatch Daredevil just because it was just that good and seminal. That and Punisher were just so good. I'm glad that they decided to go this route because they had to, truthfully, because their fan base have grown older. They're more mature. So you needed to have stories that matured along with it. That's when you can actually, a perfect example is when you watch Avengers. And you watch and he says shit. And as we go, we get it gradually older and more mature with our language with the show. So you can actually see, you can actually chart the progress of how it happened with MCU in that way. And this had to happen. You had to have stuff that was this because you needed, not everything could be that brightly colored, banter during the battles and everything like that. You needed to have these darker titles as well. They almost need to have like a Max division or a Max lineup of shows where they can call this Disney Max. I'll give you that one free of charge, Disney, and have because I'm sure you've already seen some of the ideas I've had anyway, and have it be like that. I think that would be a great thing to do, and have that be the block.
No.
I don't know. As far as blocks, folks, look, don't block me because of the segues that I had. Look, I'm saying there was a lot we had in the show. We ran over on time, but there was a lot here. We had a lot to discuss, and the most important thing is that March 20th, just stay home. Just stay home. Stay your ass home. There's a lot going on March 20th. But there's been so many shows, so many games, comics, everything that we've had going on. That's what's going to be happening in March. So buckle up, sit back, get your coins ready, get your snacks, charge your controllers, make sure your subscriptions are paid up so you can watch this stuff and have a lot of fun. And we will see you next time for our next Geek Culture Upfronts episode, which will be at the end of March. And then we'll be telling you about everything that's coming up in April. Crossing our fingers. I think I saw a couple of things already I want to talk about, but we'll go from there. All right. So on that note, Jabba, you got any final words for the folks?
I'm just gonna say for March 20th, if you end up like that SpongeBob meme where he's trying to do everything at once, I don't apologize.
Yeah,
it's just gonna happen.
Yes, it is. But also, like SpongeBob, I'm ready.
See, that was a good one. That was a good one. Okay, I'll give you that.
How many segues did I do? And I finally get that's a good one, and it wasn't even on that. I try all my life. I've had to fight. Robert, what was your? I don't care. Robert, you got any final words for the folks?
March 15th, March 16th, if you're in the Atlanta area, the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo, I will have a table. I have 2 panels. I got comics for days. The event is going to be the biggest convention in the history of Atlanta, all that. Channeling my Don King. I don't care. But March 15th and the 16th, if you're in the Atlanta metropolitan area, visit North Lake Mall for the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo. I got books to sell, y'all. So
that's it. And phenomenal books as well. Jabba will be getting back on the road as well with conventions, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be that time.
April.
Yep.
April.
Yep.
So it is that time post-con season is starting up. So we will be having some of the best to do it, having their reviews on the cons that they are attending and telling us about them as well. Folks, that's the show. Thank you so very much to my co-host. Thank you for anyone who stayed a little bit over with us. We got some runtime. I talked to the network. They were fine with it. Don't worry about it. Because it's either you're watching us or you're watching Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Either way, you're watching streaming service. I'm saying. Yep. Either way. And I was fighting with those damn segues. I'm telling you, folks. I was fighting with them segues. That was a handicap match, but I got there. So, on behalf of my co-host, Jabba Chan, Robert Jeffrey, I'm Antonio Pomares. You have a very good evening. Enjoy the rest of it. Thank you. We will see you next time. Have a very good night and enjoy all that you are watching. Let's hit the button once and let's see if we can get it to go.
Yay!